Welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching WrestleMania 15. I'm so excited. Hey, it's Scott Barrett and welcome back to the Burning Truth Watch Along Live. Tonight, we're stepping into the heart of the Attitude Era. Yeah, we are. I bought me belt and everything. Yes. And we're heading back to the chaos that was WrestleMania 15.
This was peak 1999, mad storylines, hardcore brawls, and one of the biggest main events of all time. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock for the, at the time, WWF Championship. Whether you lived through it or if you're seeing it for the first time, this was an absolute wild roller coaster ride.
This is my first WrestleMania and my favorite WrestleMania ever. People hate this one, but I love it. So before we dive in, we're getting close to 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It's at the bottom of the screen, and help us smash that milestone. We're at about 190, just about. If we can get to 200 this week, I'll be so happy. We keep going and going and going until we hit 1,000 subscribers.
Help us reach that glorious goal, if you could please. We will be
goal.
Wow, glorious. But anyway, before we actually continue or move it straight into it, let's here's how it's going to work. Get WrestleMania 15 ready on Peacock, on Netflix, DVD.
Netflix.
Yeah, because we can't say WWE Network anymore.
No,
because it doesn't exist.
Dead, babe. It's dead.
Why do I just get the certain airs that a certain Agent K is going to come up with a certain?
Yeah.
I don't know why. But anyway, however you're going to watch this, get it ready. Cue it to the very start of the event, and when we count down 3, 2, 1, play. Hit the play button at the same time as us. From there, we'll guide you through every match with every live reaction, insight, and some classic wrestling trivia, with some discussions of some modern stuff.
Some Scott statistics, some Matt facts. We're going to be giving it all. So grab your drinks, grab your snacks, settle in, get ready to relive one of the most attitude-filled nights in WrestleMania history. I'm so happy, Matt Burns. I've never been so happy on a podcast. So
with that being said, all right, get your video queued up because it's time to start.
Absolutely, it is. So we say, ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1,
play.
Oh, I'm so happy. Here we go. And we're starting off on this one. No video. You okay, Matt Burns? You got no sound?
I couldn't hear you then.
You couldn't hear me?
Yeah.
Well, let's hope everybody at home can.
Yeah, we can now.
Yeah. So we've got Boyz II Men singing "America the Beautiful." Just testing, Matt. Yeah, I'm okay for volume.
All good.
Boyz II Men, massive act to be at WrestleMania at this time, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely insane. Boyz II Men. Iconic.
Loads of wrestling going on this week as well, Matt Burns, while Boyz II Men are smashing this. We've got United Wrestling on Friday. If you're in Stoke, Abbey Alton Sports and Social Club, you can find them on Facebook. United Wrestling Live. Absolutely smashing it there at the moment. And they've got another one, a huge super show in Colwyn Bay, North Wales at the end of next month. So we've got wrestling for United Wrestling. I believe that there's a promotion in Crewe with another show soon as well.
Yeah, that's coming up, but it's not this month coming up, it's the month after. literally, I believe it is. But at the moment, we've
not April, no.
No, I think it's May.
May, okay. I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but there's loads of local wrestling going on, which is good news. Support your local wrestling, get yourself out there, and watch any shows you can, because the guys, on the UK scene are absolutely smashing it at the minute. But Matt Burns, the point is, I bought my title out special for this, and I never get the title out. And I'm so happy watching WrestleMania 15. I've had to get this out of storage for tonight.
Well, this might shock you, because at an ICW, at ICW at a convention, there was a Gary Barlow chant for a wrestler, by a female wrestler of Holly Barlow.
Right.
And she also had somebody to meet there. And they are a former, WCW world champion, famous actor. Think about it. Famous actor.
I don't. You're teasing me. Just tell me the bloody answer. I hate it when you do this. It's really frustrating, Matt Burns. Just tell me who you're talking about.
From Scream, David Arquette.
Ah, David Arquette.
He was there.
Tell me who bloody is.
David
Teasing
Arquette.
me all the time. I hate being teased.
We have to tease.
I don't want you teasing me. Got
Wait.
Freddie Blassie.
Oh yeah,
talking
definitely.
Through this promo to begin WrestleMania. Loads of shots of Mick Foley in that Hell in a Cell match, which was only about 8 months before this.
Yeah, because that was at King of the Ring.
98, yeah.
Yep.
And this is around end of March, beginning of April 99. Philadelphia.
If I'm not mistaken, because the King of Ring was at the month of June.
Yeah, so it might have been 10 months. No, about 8 months. Yeah, I am right. About 8 months.
But yeah, you were right.
And now. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
Well, seeing as I mentioned David Arquette and he's out of Scream, here's a question for you. I'm going to have to do it in the style of the Scream film. What's your favorite WrestleMania moment?
We talked about this before, but it's when the boss man gets hung by the Undertaker. Am I going to see it? I actually can't wait for this. I'm so happy we're watching WrestleMania 15. Oh. I mean, it's a different era, this, isn't it? Look at all the signs. Not a phone in anyone's hand.
Oh, definitely.
Nobody's watching it through a video phone. Just experiencing it. Fantastic.
I'm just trying to... Is that young Michael Cole?
Yeah, so Michael Cole. So at this point, JR's been on and off tally with them about palsy. They have tried to turn him heel in about the last few months before this. He's had his own sort of announce table. He was managing Dr. Death Steve Williams, who's now totally out of the picture because he lost in the Brawl for All, killed all the credibility. So JR's completely out of the picture at this point. And we do see him later in the night, and it's sort of his return tonight. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, Michael Cole's pretty much been the lead commentator since December.
That's shocking.
Snow. What does everybody want? and we've got Michael Cole, like you said, on commentary. And how amazing is that we are watching this 26 years later, and Michael Cole's still on commentary for Monday Night Raw. And he will commentate WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And he is the newly crowned Hardcore Holly. I mean, we know, Matt Burns, that we watched the last event from 1999. We watched St. Valentine's Day Massacre about 5 weeks ago. And we watched that brilliant hardcore title match between Al Snow and Bob Holly.
You said newly crowned?
Pardon?
You said newly
Yeah,
crowned.
so he's
didn't you?
been Bob Holly up to very recently, and he's just changed his name to Hardcore Holly.
Yeah.
Newly monikered, if you like.
Yeah.
Hardcore Holly.
Yeah.
So now we've got Hardcore. We've got Al Snow into triple threat match. We've got the newly crowned Hardcore champion. Badass Billy Gunn, baby. Here he comes.
And this is how badass he is. Look what he's carrying.
And another one, the Hardcore Championship, yeah. Another one, though, interestingly enough, that is still working today. You can catch Billy Gunn on AEW TV, I believe, Matt Burns, if he hasn't retired.
No, he hasn't retired. And
retiring in Billy Gunn. And would you like a Scott statistic on Billy Gunn?
Please go ahead.
Would you like one? This is my favorite Billy Gunn fact. Yeah. Billy Gunn is a big dude. In fact, Billy Gunn is exactly the same height as Hulk Hogan. That's my Billy Gunn fact.
He's the same height as him.
As Hulk Hogan, yeah.
Interesting.
Hardcore title. The old Winged Eagle title, beaten to crap, given to Mick Foley. You ready for some hardcore? No. Al Snow says no. And the match is underway. We've got Hardcore Holly, Al Snow, and Badass Billy Gunn, Mr. Ass. He wasn't quite Mr. Ass yet. It was on his tights, but he wasn't quite Mr. Ass yet.
Yeah.
And, you know, all three of these, the hardcore division's quite new at this point. Al Snow part of the Job Squad. Hardcore Holly's just reaching out on his own after being in the Job Squad, I believe. Billy Gunn, obviously part of D-Generation X at this time.
Yeah. He wasn't Mr. Ass at the moment. He was Badass.
BA Billy Gunn. He transitioned into Mr. Ass slowly.
Now, the interesting thing I find is, do you know what the results of the pre-show match, or should we say the heat matches?
I know at least one of them. So I know in the pre-show, and I was going to talk about this when the tag team title match comes up in a little bit, but we had a battle royal where the two last men standing were put together to tag up against the tag team champions later in the night, and that was Test and D'Lo Brown. But the whole thing felt like a backdrop for some women's issues with Ivory and Deborah and a few others. So it wasn't the most
you were close. You were close.
D'Lo and Test? I know it was.
No. You were actually close on the other match as well.
Oh, was that Ivory and Terry, maybe?
No, it was Ivory and Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, yeah. I haven't seen that Sunday Night Heat in a long time, and it's not as important as the show goes on that the Ivory Miss Jackie match. In fact, I think off memory it was about 1 minute and 23 seconds, that women's match. You can check that. That might be a Scott statistic as well. But it's the Battle Royal. That was off the top. I haven't got no notes for this because I know the event. But the
Scott, do you want to know how peak that was?
Was a spot on.
Bang on.
1, 2, 3. That way. Anyway, so that battle royal obviously leads to the tag match later on against Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart. So we'll get there. But right now we've got the crowd pretty quiet until this hockey stick comes out.
Ooh.
This is the home arena of the Philadelphia Flyers. I think they just said, and obviously they play hockey here. So let's go Flyers. That's it. Dump cans of pop on Ollie's head.
Tell him to cool off.
And again, if you're joining us late or you are listening on the pod and you want to make sure you're up to date with us, the clock below, if you're watching the video, and I'll say it out loud if you're listening to the audio of this, but we are currently watching along WrestleMania 15, providing alternate commentary and just a general good time. We're at 11 minutes, 27 seconds, 28 seconds, 9 seconds, as we go. So the idea of this is you use us as a second screen and watch along as we talk through it. If you're in the car or you're on a plane or on a boat and you can't watch along, that's cool too. Just listen to us talk about it. We absolutely, well, I do. I love this event. Talk about it forever.
I will say it's got one of the most iconic main events, definitely.
Oh, 1,000%.
100%. And that's the thing with the classics, and currently the crowd always let you know if they're into a match, a segment, or anything.
This genuinely gets better as we go as well, though.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting question for you, Matt Burns. I'm going to ask it you now, and I'm going to ask it at the end as well. Where does WrestleMania 15 rank for you out of all the WrestleManias? So we know my thoughts.
It can't be. It's weird because was this your first?
Yeah, and my favorite. I was about 10 years old. I was about 10 years old when I watched this.
So as you can imagine, you watched this as your first WrestleMania. Oh wow! I just realized. Can you remember what mine was?
No, not offhand. I remember that Jacqueline versus Ivory on Sunday Night Heat before WrestleMania 15 was 1 minute and 23 seconds. But no, I don't remember what you told me was your favorite WrestleMania about 3 weeks ago.
For me, my first one was main events. Last match was. I'm just double checking. It was Bret Hart versus Yokozuna.
Was that 9?
10.
10.
WrestleMania X, where Bret started the show and ended the show.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
And we had the infamous ladder match.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine, I was watching WrestleMania. I got 5 years on top of you.
Yeah. And you're not necessarily 5 years older. You're a few years older than me, but nowhere near 5. But I suppose that's the difference I came to wrestling a bit later than you.
To be honest with you, I blame me high school mates that got me into it. A group of us that got massively.
Well, I was 10 when this came out, mate. So I mean, were you in high school in 1994? Because that would have been WrestleMania 10.
No, to be honest with you, it wasn't. I wasn't in high school
when you watched that one.
No.
Big chair shot from Billy Gunn to Hardcore Holly. What a shot! And then throws Al Snow through the table in the corner. And Al Snow put the table in the corner, so we know the rules. He has to go through it.
Tradition,
yeah. Unless you're Devon, if you set the table up, you have to go through it. Devon is the exception to the rule.
Love it.
And now Billy setting up a famouser on the chair. Hits it. Ooh. Holly just picks up that chair and just going to wail on Billy Gunn. But it does look for a second like he's going to hit the ref. And Holly wins the hardcore title there and there. And new. Love the Fink.
It's the Fink.
And while we're watching this, Matt Burns, and we're thinking about, I asked you before, actually. You never answered my question. So WrestleMania 15, where does it rank for you?
For me, it's about, in my estimates, I'd say 3 and 4.
Is it? People say it's one of the worst. Generally, that's how it gets rated.
A part of me, if you asked me this a few years ago, I would have said yes. I agree with him. But to be honest, it is far easier for us to point out the fact that they zone in on the certain moments of WrestleMania too much. We know which moment it is. Right.
My favorite moment.
But if they take that aside and look at the quality of the matches, the fact that we actually had two of the hottest superstars against each other right now,
Yeah.
for the WWF Championship, it can't be that bad.
Yeah, you also missed my D'Lo Brown then.
I know, I saw it.
I just chose to no sell it.
I was waiting for me stopping me monologue and just go, what?
What? Here we go. We've got D'Lo now. Here comes Test with his OG music. Do you remember this? Everybody remembers the main Test theme. Nobody really remembers that classic Test theme.
It's a slow test.
Slow Test. Guns don't kill people. I kill people, his top says. That's aged well. I'm not saying Test killed anyone. Just the t-shirt in general. Oh, they're already arguing.
I can imagine this is a bit of a weird one, but anyway, who's here?
Here comes JEFF. JARRETT.
Ain't he great?
Ain't he great? And Deborah with the puppies, and Owen Hart, who says enough is enough.
And it's time
for a change.
And of course, he is not a nugget.
No, definitely not. So at this point, though, I mean, Jeff Jarrett was my most disliked wrestler. The human fast forward button, right? Wasn't until much, much later that I jumped on the Jeff Jarrett bandwagon. It was around TNA probably that I jumped on the Jeff Jarrett bandwagon, and I've never turned back. Podcast My World with Conrad and Jeff, and his work in AEW, and certainly the stuff he did in TNA and creating that brand is still a viable brand today. Really, really interesting. So he's sort of probably my worst at this point. A huge turnaround for him. But who is maybe your favourite Attitude Era star?
The weird thing about it is, everybody will zone in on, The Rock, Austin, and that. You're guaranteed.
Kane, Undertaker, Mick Foley. Big boot by Test onto Owen Hart.
Oh, I forgot about that.
What, the big boot?
No, I was on about the clothesline. That was meant to be over the ropes.
Ah, he's all right.
Looks a bit rough.
He's fine. Hip toss. Boom.
Quality wrestling gear.
Yeah. Underrated workers, Jeff and D'Lo.
Definitely. And the weird thing about it is, the problem that I feel as though during the Attitude Era, it was mostly solely focused on the main event. That's what most people remember, the main event scene.
Don't get me wrong, Test is not the greatest worker in the world, but the other three in this match, solid. Hardcore Holly, Al Snow, Billy Gunn to open it, solid workers, good triple threat match. There's no crap on this show.
That's what I mean. And right now we've got like Owen Hart, who if you watch my material or currently would see me current gear, a bit of tribute and homage.
I mean, it was hardly a double team, Michael Cole. So
just got in and just
got Test in the sharpshooter, and D'Lo breaks it up, and Michael Cole says, "That's a good double team."
While Test is like, "I'll be back."
Wow.
you know, a bit of an audible. Wait. Oh. Never know. So, whoa.
Big spin kick from Owen Hart. Fantastic. And I suppose this Mania is the answer to the question for me. If you could only watch one WrestleMania for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Which one is it for you?
I've got some. For me, I might have to consider my first one.
10. 10's solid. 20's underrated as well. 10, 15, 20.
20's underrated, but WWE will want you to forget about 20 because of one individual.
The Kurt Angle Eddie Guerrero match is phenomenal in 20.
Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
Oh, great. See that kick from D'Lo Brown?
Oh, yeah. I've seen it enough times.
Only really good workers can do that. Oh, there we go. Low down. And then breaks it up. And now in comes Test. And Deborah's on the apron. And Ivory's not having it. You know, it wants nothing to do with this. He just walked straight past him.
There we go.
He goes, got him up. Drop kick from Owen. Jeff into the bridge. Here comes Jimmy Corderas for the 2 and 3. And that's a retain. Test wasn't even bothered by the end. It's too bothered about PMS.
Watch.
D'Lo's not happy. Test isn't happy. Ivory isn't happy. And now we've got a match for Monday Night Raw tomorrow night.
And you've got probably Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett sitting there going, "We'll take the winner's prize."
Move on to the next challenges. I think the problem with this era though was the tag teams that were in the promotion weren't doing much tagging. So the New Age Outlaws are both in their own separate matches on this night. And,
yeah.
Gold Dust and the Blue Meanie now as a team, more focused on the Intercontinental title. Oh, Matt Burns, you see what we've got coming up now? So, a bit of background. We've talked about this at length in the archives. However, the Brawl for All. We could do a special episode just talking about the Brawl for All, I feel. But the Brawl for All was basically in a worked fight environment. I thought it would be a really good idea to say, hey, Hanno, let's have real fights as well. And it was expected that Dr. Death Steve Williams was going to win this and it would propel him forward. And Bart Gunn eventually, nobody knew that Bart Gunn had a left hand that could put anybody down. So Bart Gunn eventually wins the Brawl for All. And his prize for winning the Brawl for All was you can fight super heavyweight professional boxer Butterbean.
But that wasn't the original. That wasn't the original plan for it.
Go on, talk about the original plan, Matt Burns.
Well, at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, we've got Isaac Hayes watching on. You know, Chef's kiss. I wonder if you noticed a little hint there, just doing that on who he voiced from South Park.
Talk to me then. What was the original plan for Brawl for All?
The original Brawl for All was meant to be to aim for a WWF Championship.
Yeah. But it was Bart Gunn. So let's have him fight Butterbean at WrestleMania. We can get Butterbean on the show. Let's do it. And this is it's a phenomenal bit of pay-per-view, this is. It might be another reason I love this show so much because it was expected, but it was still heartbreaking for Bart Gunn.
I think this is another reason why people lower this down. Lower the WrestleMania down on their best, in their view of WrestleManias. For me,
now we're just going through the judges for this match. So we've got a boxing judge. Kevin Rooney. Chuck Wetner, wrestled Andre the Giant and boxed Muhammad Ali. What a career. Well done, Chuck Wetner. And then the third judge, because, I mean, why not? We've still got him, so let's use him. It's Gorilla.
Yeah.
Huge ovation for Gorilla Monsoon.
Legend.
And rightly so.
I could say so much in regards to this. And do not find more hilarious
Yeah.
how they changed how they made the athletic Luke from a wrestling ring to a boxing ring.
Yeah, very quickly as well.
Gorilla,
Gorilla Monsoon died in the October in '99. So, 7 months, 8 months after this, 6, 7 months after this.
The weird thing about it is, with Butterbean, if anybody knows that this little Matt fact, he actually he gave wrestling a try.
Yeah. What I love about this is it would have been really easy to have got him in and then said, right, guys, it's a work. This is how we're going to do it. But they legit said, no, I just want you to go out and fight him. Like, he might have beaten a few hard guys out of the roster, but this is a legit super heavyweight boxer.
Yeah. Bart Gunn has been told, go out there and knock each other out. Oh, wait, Bart won. What's going on? And instead of rewarding him for showcasing he's got that, that left hand of, of power, basically, it just frustrates me that they want to make someone into a legit badass by making people injure themselves. Multiple individuals got knocked out, and I feel that the entire tournament was to teach somebody a lesson. That's what it was. This entire tournament is supposedly meant to be to teach somebody a lesson. And in teaching that lesson, many individuals got massively humbled who didn't need humbling. And
quite a few injuries from this as well.
Many injuries, and one of them knocked out into obscurity. Oh, wait, 2.
As you say that, though, Matt Burns, I just want to, for everyone watching at home or watching along or listening along, we're currently at 29 minutes, 58, 59, 30 minutes of the show we're through. So if you've got us on as alternate commentary, we've just kicked off the first round, Butterbean and Bart Gunn, and watch what happens here. Boom, big right hand from Butterbean. And rocks him. And another couple, and down goes Bart Gunn. It's not over, Matt Burns. That mad guy gets back up here.
It's the start of the end.
Let's hope he wants to continue. And now he knows how hard Butterbean can hit.
And there you go.
Boom, there he goes. And Butterbean puts Bart Gunn down. First round, technical knockout. No need for judges, no need for anything, because that's what Butterbean does. He puts people down. It took less than a minute of the first round, and Bart Gunn went from winning the Brawl for All to total obscurity.
My point is, do you know what actually caused this entire tournament to come about?
Before you tell us, I just want to say hi to Oshan. Oshan's in the chat saying hello. Hello, Oshan. Hello. Go on then, tell us what caused the Brawl for All to start.
Basically, it's because someone had a disagreement, 2 individuals. And it was because Bradshaw made the claim that he's the hardest he's the hardest wrestler in the locker
Matt
room.
Baines, I don't know who you've been listening to, but that is not how the Brawl for All came to be. But I tell you what we will do. We're going to put a pin in this, and we're going to have a full episode discussion on the Brawl for All in the next few weeks because we know it's a fascinating topic, and I think it'd be really good to do a deep dive.
Well, you might not think it is, but it was supposed meant to be to get Dr. Death over at the same time.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but like I say, let's put a pin in the Brawl for All, and let's come back to it in the next few weeks and do a real deep dive.
But it was meant to be supposedly a punishment for somebody else, but it ended up being an even bigger punishment for somebody else for winning the actual thing.
Yeah, it became a bigger punishment for Bart Gunn, absolutely.
Ooh, I could make a career out of this. I could be famous. I could be knocked the hell out.
I'm the next challenger for the champ. Boom! No, you're not. You're down.
Say hello to Butterbean.
Absolutely. Here comes the chicken. The San Diego chicken. And this was a famous boxer from the time, I believe, Matt Baines. Nobody I'm familiar with, but boom. Nice spot for the fans there. Oh, and the Big Show and Mankind kicking it off on Sunday Night Heat. Obviously, that huge match later, Big Show versus Mankind, and the winner gets to referee the main event. Stone Cold versus The Rock. All Mick Foley wants, all Mankind wants, is to be in the main event of WrestleMania. And that's a story that we'll do for the next 12 months, Matt Baines, right?
That sounds familiar.
Story that we'll do for the next 12 months.
No, that sounds really familiar, though. All he wants is to be in the main event. Who else wants to be in the main event at WrestleMania right now?
I don't know, but nobody's ever confused Mick Foley with being the best in the world.
But then again,
that's a blast from the past. Look who's all suited and booted there. Kevin Kelly, what a guy.
Yeah, but I will say this: many might not call Mankind, Mick Foley best in the world. If I'm not mistaken, many fans call Foley God.
Oh yes, God. You try to have a nice day. And here he comes. The Big Show. Here comes the Big Show, 7'2", 500 pounds. It's still called Paul White at this point. Representing the corporation. Still the Big Show Paul White at this point. He hasn't completely dropped the Paul White part of his name yet.
Interesting, that is. Very interesting. Foley rules. This is an entrance song that is iconic for me.
Oh, yeah, it's phenomenal.
And look, Goddess Foley. What I love about this right now is the fact that Paul is wearing his referee shirt already. His custom one. Rough bump. Interesting. You know, Foley using some unique offense against somebody who's the size of Big Show, but hang on. Ooh! Backwards over the stairs.
Yeah, he takes ridiculous bumps, Foley, doesn't he?
I know some people have said I look like Mick Foley, but I ain't taking bumps like that. I am not taking bumps like that. No. Mankind getting manhandled. Was that meant to be like a...
Yeah, they tried, haven't they?
Oh, that's just reminded me of something that's recently happened. Have you seen some of the house shows that have been happening lately for WWE Raw recently? Have you seen who Gunter's been going up against?
Yeah. Did you see? I'm sure you've seen the video. Then, if you haven't seen it at home, get yourself onto YouTube and have a look for that. But there's a brilliant clip where Gunter hits CM Punk with a chop, and CM Punk falls to the ground and takes the bump, and then looks directly at the crowd and just sort of fake taps out on the mat because he's been hit that hard.
Oh,
I mean, Matt Burns, it's interesting this, right? Because I mean, you look at WrestleMania 15, you look at the main event, and it's got everything, right? It's Attitude Era Chaos. It's Austin at his peak, Rock stepping fully into that top-tier spotlight. But what sometimes gets overlooked is the role that Mick Foley plays in getting him there. I mean, just think about it. So this is a guy who put his body on the line in Japan, ECW, WCW, reinvented himself in the WWF as Mankind, then Dude Love, and then back to Cactus Jack. By 1999, he's already been tossed off Hell in a Cell. He's lost an ear in Germany, main evented pay-per-views with some of the most violent, emotional storytelling of the era. He's the glue holding a lot of it together, sacrificing his body, to elevate others, and he did it with a smile and a sock puppet. So when we talk about legacy, influence, and what it means to truly put people's over, with all that being said, how big do you think Batista's dick is? Oh dear. Oh, I just totally got you with the Bruce Pritchard. Because you were lining up an answer there as well. I could see it. As Mankind puts Big Show in the mandible claw with Mr. Socko, and he's sat on the Big Show's back at this point. Big Show's down to one knee. Referee Earl Hebner's checking him, see if he's passed out. And Matt Burns hasn't said a thing since I asked that question. Oh, Big Show. £500 onto Mick Foley there. What a bump to get Mick to release the hold.
Average size, to answer your question. But anyway, let's move on.
I absolutely love that. Oh, if you're listening along at home, we're just having some fun here. We're currently at 41 minutes, 25, 26, 27 seconds of WWE WrestleMania 15. The Raging Climax, Matt Burns, they called this one.
That makes it worse, the fact that with what you just asked me. That just makes it worse. The Raging Climax.
Because the real question is, who has the Raging Climax?
Who's climaxing?
Oh, stop. Big Show now outside the ring with Mankind. I'm just thinking, if Big Show wins this and he main events the main event, he referees the main event, how long is it going to take him to get up from counting to 3 on the floor? He's not going to get down or up quick, is he?
He might stomp.
Yeah, have to. Big chair shot.
Either that or he gets involved, choke slams Steve Austin, and while he's holding him down, you got the Rockers gets the pin, and while Show's choking, goes 1, 2, 3.
Big Show now picking Mick Foley up outside the ring, chucking him back in after hitting him with a brutal chair shot. What's been the best match so far, Matt Burns? I'm interested in your thoughts on that. We've had the hardcore title triple threat match. We've had the tag team title match. We've had the brawl for all. And now we've got Big Show versus Mankind in a no DQ.
I might actually go for no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I was going to say the brawl for all, but no.
For all. I think on balance, it's the if you're looking for a fight, it was a really good fight. Oh, chokes on through those chairs. Post disqualification. He's hitting with a chair a few times, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was no DQ. I take it it's not then. He's been disqualified.
No, it was definitely
He's hitting with a chair 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, not in front of the referee. And it was possibly, I think, before anything got really started, I think.
And here comes one Vincent Kennedy McMahon on his way to the ring. The Mr. McMahon character in full swing. He's going to come and tell off Paul White for getting disqualified.
Yeah, for me, so far, I'm going to go with the triple threat opener. The triple threat opener, because because what a way to start off. First has to come out says, "What does everybody want?"
Yeah. They didn't need microphones at this point, did they? Check them out. Vince is not happy with Big Show.
But do not find so weird with this right now. At this time, the way Vince spoke there, it was like he's about to kill commentary McMahon, because the way he was speaking. You can hear the subtle hints of Mr. McMahon. Do you know what I mean? There you go.
Oh, it's like that Big Show. Big right hand. Down goes Vince. The Big Show's no longer in the corporation.
Yeah.
Second knockout tonight, Michael Cole says. First Bart Gunn, let's bury him. And then we didn't need the buried alive segment for Bart Gunn. Although we could have done. When Bart Gunn.
You got buried enough.
When Bart Gunn got it, we could have done the whole. But not right now. Vince is out. Look at that chin. Mr. McMahon, are you okay, Mr. McMahon? That choke slam, though. Oof.
Ring the bell.
That doesn't look right. So we know that like 8 months ago, he took that bump off the Hell in a Cell, right? And then through the Hell in a Cell. and they still couldn't get him on a stretcher. But I think they do get him on a stretcher here, and he's only been through 2 chairs. But if you think about how he landed, hitting his kidneys, like, could have killed him. It's a tough bump, that is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can safely say I haven't landed on two steel chairs, 2 solid steel chairs.
Solid steel chair. Mr. McMahon, let me help you to the back, Mr. McMahon.
But I do know what it's like to come falling down and landing on your kidneys. It does suck.
It does suck.
It does. Because for me, I remember it because I was in a match in a triple threat Money in the Bank ladder match.
One for the working man.
Right? And I was lucky enough to almost bring the house down, literally, by winning the match. By grabbing the suitcase in, because the ladder got drop kicked from underneath me, and I had to just grab the case and go, "You're coming with me." But
and it's rarity this, Matt Beans. We've actually got, as we see the replay of the Big Show hitting Vince McMahon again here, we've actually got Mick Foley leaving on a stretcher.
Yeah.
Which did not happen. Like,
not often, but
well, not at all. That never happened. And here he is going on the stretcher. So they're trying to sell this as one of the worst injuries he's had. The problem is, because we've done things like Hell in a Cell, getting chokeslammed onto 2 shares doesn't do that for you. Like, they should have almost done something more dastardly.
Potentially, but at the same time, it was Big Show throwing him through her.
Oh, you didn't know? So Vince wants Big Show arrested, and here comes the Road Dogg Jesse James, the second member of the New Age Outlaws tonight, and our WWF Intercontinental Champion. And it's interesting, Matt Vince, because depending on when you grew up or what you remember, I think your taste in belts is different, right? That one right there, I think that's peak Intercontinental Championship. I think that's nicer than the predecessor to that, the Scott Hall, the Razor Ramon Shawn Michaels one, and the one that Cody Rhodes brought back. I think this oval version is a nicer championship. In fact, it's on my list to purchase. Obviously, we know I'm a bit of a belt nerd. I've got my Big Eagle here. I've also, Matt Vince, I don't know if I've showed you this. I'll show you another one that's in my collection.
While you're also repping the biggest heel right now.
What do we think of my undisputed?
Is the fact that you're wearing that T-shirt and holding that belt your prediction?
That's it, man. That's what it's about. Age Outlaws. There you go. And this is a fatal 4-way, Matt Bins. And if you remember back to when we did in the archives, we watched the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yeah.
We obviously were having issues with Val Venus, Goldust, Ken Shamrock, and Ryan Shamrock. And those issues only continued. And then when Road Dogg became the Intercontinental Champion, almost got dragged into this this feud too. But here he comes, the big Valboski. Hello, ladies. I always sound like I've got a cold. Remember that episode of Friends where Monica has got a cold? He's like, I'm thick. I'm not thick. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
That's what I always think. Like Val Venus sounds like that. Hello, ladies. I'm a little bit under the weather.
And I've got a child to keep me warm.
Oh dear, here he goes with his towel. Do you know what though? I get that the character is so over the top and it's very 1990s, but the package works, right? No pun intended. Like Val Venus, the purple lighting, the towel, the music, it works so well. You're getting a pop at the package. Even that belt will never keep the big Valboski's pants on, Matt Burns. What a line. And here he comes, being accompanied by the Blue Meanie. Now, at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, we obviously had Blue Dust versus Gold Dust. But at this point now, not only is Ryan Shamrock in a full-on relationship with the androgynous Gold Dust, but also the Blue Dust has become the Blue Meanie and now refers to Gold Dust as Mommy. Make of that what you will.
It makes you sit there and think, what's going on?
See, I've pulled this off its shelf now and I feel like I should just be wearing it.
I was waiting for you to go for I'm champ.
Oh.
I'm a double champ.
Yeah. Check me out. The champ is here. I like a massive mark now on to check me out. The champ is here.
Yeah, but the thing is, unfortunately, I bet you're disappointed when you found out that John Cena had broken up with you.
I cried. John Cena.
You get nothing.
Yeah, great promo though. The people that are hating on it, I don't understand. And so now we've got the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, coming to the ring. Big rumors before this, that Ryan Shamrock had done some wrestling work before, but apparently she was in a different line of work before WrestleMania 15, outside of the wrestling business.
Would you care to elaborate?
Very similar to Val Venus's line of work.
Potentially.
Let's call it the same industry.
Potentially.
Big friends with the Godfather is what I've heard. Cannot confirm or deny. I don't know her personally. This is just what I've read. And Road Dogg and Shamrock working together there to put Val Venus down, but it doesn't last long because the world's most dangerous man in all blue, Ken Shamrock, puts Road Dogg, who's in green, down quickly.
Or maybe he's blue dabby dee dabby doo dabby die. What? What?
Have a word with yourself, Matt Burns. Do you know what? We're going to continue this watch along without him just because that was really embarrassing. Can we still hear you? Are you still there? He's not saying anything.
Matt Burns has left the building.
No, he's still here. I'm just kidding. We've got Shamrock and Road Dogg here.
I hope that actually becomes a short.
So this was announced then as a elimination match.
Yeah.
And it's one of those silly tag matches where not all four of you in the ring at once. So we buried this alive previously, I believe.
The tag matches.
These multi-man matches are just, dead awkward. We did that in our Buried Alive segment. Just kidding. I'm not doing it again.
But at least with this, it's elimination, so you're guaranteed
to get a chance to come into the ring. Yeah, I get that, but I still think it's a silly step. If you're not watching along with us live, we're currently at 56 minutes and 34 seconds from the clock at the bottom. WrestleMania 15. And we currently got Goldust hitting the ropes, getting spine busted by Val Venus in this Intercontinental Championship fatal four-way match from 1999. And this is all about Ryan Shamrock and the Intercontinental title. Yeah. I like that move Goldust just pulled out. Followed it up with a clothesline. Gives a cover on Val Venus. Val Venus kicks out at 2. And you can see Blue Meanie's doing his best at ringside there with Ryan Shamrock just to, cause chaos.
Well, it makes a change. It makes a change of him being part of a group that's taking over all the time. But anyway,
yeah, Goldust now on the second rope going for that superplex on
trips.
Val Venus gets countered by Val, follows it up with some right hands, and then Val going to the top for this bulldog from the top rope. Good save there.
Yeah, very good save.
And a 2 count onto Goldust. These are 2 of the most outlandish characters of the Attitude Era, right?
Yeah. Well, the weird thing about it is we know that Goldie or Goldust did have a more outlandish section.
Here's a question, Matt Burns, right? Because these 4, we've got Ken Shamrock, Goldust, Val Venus, and Road Dogg. I want you to tell me which one deserves the Hall of Fame, which one should have been fired, and which one should have been WWF champion.
That's tough.
I asked the tough questions. This is the burning truth.
He's asking the burning questions.
On the burning truth. This isn't the simmering opinion. This is the burning truth.
Yeah. So, what was the question again once more?
Ken Shamrock, Goldust, Val Venus, Road Dogg. Who should be fired? Who should be in the Hall of Fame? And who should have been WWF champion?
And what about the fourth? What about the fourth individual? Just ignored.
Yeah.
Who should have had a main championship? It's tough because it's weird because it's hard to say for me at the moment because as much as I hated Val Venus, he was doing his job. He was doing his job, but really, really well. Road Dogg is absolutely always going to be iconic. So we could say put him into the Hall of Fame, but if I'm not mistaken, he already is now.
He's in as DX, yeah.
Yeah, but
it's the shake, rattle, and roll on Val Venus and then stuck it to Goldust, following it up with shake, rattle, and roll on Goldust. In comes Ken Shamrock. Missed his cue.
For people to get fired.
House here.
For people to get fired. As much as he was a good worker, well, he had some good stuff. I just don't think he actually had any standouts. And with the moniker of the world's most dangerous man, he wasn't very dangerous.
He was in the wrong era, man. Because if they pushed him like they pushed Brock the second time,
yeah,
as an MMA fighter, the world could have been his oyster. Do we think he wasn't big enough, physically big enough, like tall enough?
I don't think I don't think that's where his credibility was. It was the fact of he is a tough dude. It just felt as though he didn't get that right treatment. It just didn't feel right. He didn't feel dangerous. He just felt mild. It just felt like
who should be champion, and who should be in the Hall of Fame.
I would say Shamrock to be fired.
Really?
Yeah. I do. I just don't know why. Out of the 4 of them, I just feel it should be Shamrock. the Hall of Fame and the future champion. I am going to go with Billy Gunn. Not Billy Gunn, Road Dogg Jesse James.
You're getting tired, bud. You get yourself a monster.
I'm just about to go grab one in a minute. I was. But anyway, I think it should be Road Dogg Jesse James to be in the Hall of Fame. And I think Goldust to be given the championship.
I absolutely agree, Matt Burns. Solid in-ring performer, proven feuds, mainstream crossover appeal, longevity. He was a natural heat magnet, incredible commitment to his character. The gimmick was ahead of its time. Yeah. This is interesting. So this is why I can't remember this match being elimination style. It's because Val Venis and Ken Shamrock were just fighting down the ramp. And they both got counted out. Shamrock is enraged by this. He runs back down to the ring and he gives them both belly-to-belly suplexes. Well, belly-to-belly slams, really, to put Goldust and Road Dogg down, who are the two people left remaining in this match.
Yeah.
And then leaves as the most dangerous man. But I think that's weird for the character because the whole point was he was trying to, save Ryan Shamrock. And it just hasn't done anything with it.
And the crowd's gone mild.
Yeah, it's
it's
not a story that people were into, I must say.
If you're meant to be there to save your sister, why don't you just walk over and go, "You're coming with me"?
Yeah, she doesn't want to. She wants to be with Goldust. But that's as we hit 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 35, 36, 37 seconds on the clock. If you're watching along, as Road Dogg whips Goldust against the ropes, and Ryan Shamrock trips the wrong person
by mistake.
Shamrock's not happy. Goldust isn't happy.
Ooh.
Road Dogg reverses and gets the pin, and Road Dogg retains the Intercontinental title on a night that Billy Gunn lost the Hardcore title.
Was that a roll-up?
A power slam that was reversed in midair, and then Road Dogg held onto him. It was almost a roll. It was a reverse, wasn't it? Reverse into the pin. And now Goldust and the Blue Meanie really upset with Ryan Shamrock.
So, by the way, where's Ken?
It's appeared after he put them both down. But now they're mad at Ryan Shamrock, and he's not there to protect her. This is what I mean. It didn't work very well, the end of this. But I think within this story, Ryan Shamrock is portrayed as a bit of a wower because she ends up with Val Venis, Goldust, and Billy Gunn, I think, at some point as well. Yeah, I think it's Billy Gunn as opposed to Road Dogg. But she's portrayed as one. I don't think she is in real life. She seems like a lovely and I don't know what she did as a career before this, but I'm sure it was upstanding and didn't hurt anyone's feelings. I'm sure she made people very happy in her prior life.
The weird thing about it is, from this, when she decided to come away from the WF or WWE, she ends up moving to the other side, to the other company.
Yeah, she only did a couple of times though, right? She only had a couple of appearances.
Yes.
As we watch Big Show get loaded into this car as he's been arrested.
Yep.
Probably more police around that car than have patrolled Philadelphia ever. Next, Kane versus Triple H. What a match. Main event anywhere in the world, by God. Kane of the Corporation.
He actually has
accompanied by China versus Triple H of D-Generation X. So China and Kane are in the Corporation here. And Triple H, obviously, of D-Generation X.
Do you know what I find really weird? What is her career right now in the WWF is? What is to come?
And then here we go. We've got Triple H here blowing Kane up, dressed as Goldust with a flamethrower.
Ooh.
Great spot. Absolutely cracking. And my Netflix has just gone to an ad, so I'll have to catch up in a second, Matt Burns. But talk us through what you see.
We have Kane music hitting.
It's Steve. Deep cut there for Super League, because he'll watch this back eventually, Super League.
Oh, definitely.
We love you, Super League. Thanks for being a subscriber. Thanks to all our subscribers.
Definitely.
We really appreciate that you're here. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you hear, we do these watch-alongs. We do loads of good stuff, to be fair, on the channel. Interviews, reaction videos, news stories, the general podcast, reviews of NXT. We do loads and loads of stuff. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button. It's free. It's free to like and subscribe to the video, and you'll make us really happy. We'll love you all forever. As we hit 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 48, 49, 50 seconds. And then second.
And right now, Kane's out and he's just been hitting the back.
My advert's finished.
Checking.
So I'm just going to catch up.
He's checking. He's trying to fight Kane.
Yeah. And this is a throwback to the WrestleMania before, Matt Burns. So I don't know if you remember the year before.
Pete Rose.
Well, Pete Rose, WrestleMania 14, and then Kane does him over again here at WrestleMania 15. Oh, this is a bit of a replay to it, but bless Pete Rose. Just make sure we're lined up here, Matt Burns. So 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 35, 36, 37 seconds. And this is where Kane hands up for good times. What the hell is Pete Rose thinking about?
He must be.
Again, if you're watching along live, clock at the bottom is where we are on the watch along. Currently watching WrestleMania 15. We're watching on Netflix, but you can watch it however you've got it. We're currently at 1 hour.
DVD, VHS.
9 seconds. Yeah, if you've got VHS, bit harder to watch along, I imagine.
It's because some VHSs actually have timers.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, fair dues. And Pete Rose just been tombstoned out of his shoes by Kane. We've got Kane now versus Triple H. That's what we're waiting for. So Kane accompanied by China of the corporation and Triple H representing Degeneration X. What?
It's just...
It's a long walk for Pete Rose back to the backstage.
It is a very, very long walk.
And he wasn't salmon it at all either, because he's not.
No, he said that again.
Here comes the game. But he wasn't the game yet. Here comes the Cerebral Assassin. But he wasn't the Cerebral Assassin yet. Here comes Triple H.
Well, he showed hints of it.
Triple H in tights. How about that? How does that feel, Matt Burns?
Unique.
Hair on his head and none on his face. How does that feel, Matt Burns?
Well, he hasn't leveled up, because as he leveled up, he got less hair and more of a beard. Because he's the gamer.
And referee in this match.
Kane.
Yeah. If you notice, we've got referee in this match, Matt Burns.
I'm surprised.
Teddy Long ref in the match. And he was a bit annoyed because this match wasn't a tag match player.
I was just about to say, and he was probably waiting for someone to come out and start rolling and going 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, he's got to basically chin up and get on with it because he's got the replacement of Kane.
Oh, what a bump into the steps. Solid bump into the steps there from Kane. Triple H back in the ring with his little braid.
A high knee. You know what? That looks rougher.
On steps. Oh,
that looks rougher on the second watch, doesn't it?
Mm. It's a grappling ball.
Ooh.
And we were being a little bit more lenient with things like countouts at this point of the Attitude Era. So even though Teddy Long's probably in the ring counting, he's taking a long time between counts.
But
in fact, the only count-out in the Attitude Era that I can remember is the one that we just watched in that Fatal 4-Way match, and it obviously served the purpose.
Well, do you know what I find funny?
What?
The referees are more lenient, more lenient. Big Show choke slams Mankind on the 2 chairs. Disqualification.
Yeah,
can't be that lenient.
You've got to be. Here's a question for you, Matt Burns, and it's probably one to ponder maybe, but is there an Attitude Era match that should have happened that didn't, in your opinion? Like an Attitude Era match at WrestleMania that didn't happen?
Hard to say.
Like, I think it's incredible that we never got. It's probably a little bit too early here. It's incredible that we never got a Triple H Stone Cold match at WrestleMania. It never happened. So, WrestleMania 15 is Rock Austin. WrestleMania 16, Austin's been run over and broke his neck. Well, he's broke his neck and therefore has been run over by Rikishi. 2001, WrestleMania 17, he's wrestling The Rock again. WrestleMania 18 is the match with Scott Hall. WrestleMania 19 is the match with The Rock again, and then he's retired until he wrestled Kevin Owens at 39. If we had more time, Triple H versus Austin would have been an incredible WrestleMania match. The No Way Out 3 stages of Hell match deserved WrestleMania.
I feel like a meme. I feel like I'm that guy who goes like that.
Yeah. There are loads of different examples of that, though, because if you think about the people that Austin worked at WrestleMania, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Scott Hall, that's it.
How come we didn't get Stone Cold versus Hulk Hogan?
How come? They thought they'd get there eventually, didn't they? So they decided to do Rock and Hogan first. They thought they'd get to Austin Hogan, and they never got there, because of all the different reasons.
Oops.
You say oops, but I think that Hogan Rock match, was incredible, and I don't think you can look past it. I don't think you can say, it's a shame we didn't get Austin Hogan.
No,
if Rock Hogan would have been taken out because of it. You know what I mean?
Would Austin have done the same as what The Rock did? Sort of adjusted in that match to the crowd.
Yeah. Because if I'm honest, I think Austin was a better worker than The Rock.
Yeah.
And would have felt the crowd. But I also think the crowd wouldn't have been a split for Austin versus Hogan.
Yeah.
If I'm being totally honest. I think Austin was always more over with the live crowd, especially during that era, than The Rock was.
Yeah, so that was going to be tough, but with it being The Rock, it was raised to iconic level because they went with the crowd, they danced with that crowd, and they made that moment.
So, WrestleMania 15. So we talked about what match should have happened at WrestleMania at some point. Triple H, Austin. Maybe that didn't happen.
Still can't believe that didn't happen.
Mad that it didn't happen, right?
That's insane.
So is there if you could change any match from this WrestleMania, you've just watched St. Valentine's Day Massacre a few weeks ago. We're now watching WrestleMania 15. So you know the cast of characters that's sort of in play.
Yeah.
Is there a match you would have done differently on this show? Maybe specifically thinking about, I know you got a big issue with the Hell in a Cell, Bossman Undertaker aftermath, if you like. Would you have done a different match to that full stop, or would you have done a different match to Kane Triple H?
That's not my biggest gripe on this match, on this card.
Woman.
The biggest issue I have is
as Kane hits a huge over the top
dive
tope suicida on Triple H.
He's bigger, 7 foot tall, and wrong gear.
We've got May Eunice in the chat liking the new haircut, Scott. Thank you very much. Matt Burns did not mention it, but I'm glad you have. So thanks for watching along live with us. Currently watching WrestleMania 15. We're at 1 hour, 17 minutes, 38, 39, 40 seconds as Triple H throws Kane off the top rope and back into the ring.
You know what? You spoiled me surprise. I was going to wait until Austin came up and goes, "Is he related?"
Do you know what? I think I look more like Minty from EastEnders. Welcome back to your EastEnders podcast here. I'm Minty. My co-host alongside me is Sonia Jackson. And you've had a lot of grief over that Sonia Jackson thing over the years, haven't you?
I've had it so many years, and bear in mind that if I'm not mistaken, the last time we were on, we were going through the actual fact that it was the anniversary of when the actual picture got it highlighted that I looked like Sonia Jackson, and it was like as if it's been that long.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Just a quick text, just giving it a quick reply. Here comes Chyna as Triple H has got Kane down in the ring. Obviously, Chyna and Triple H, huge history. But now Chyna in the corporation with Kane, almost been appointed Kane's handler by the corporate team. As Kane gets Triple H up, ready for the tombstone. Triple H back down, slip slam. Puts Kane in for the pedigree. Kane counters and drops an elbow on Triple H just to give him a bit of time. It's a long walk for Chyna down to the ring. Chyna gets the steel ring steps, which, Matt Burns, fun fact, and maybe something you don't even notice, but I do. Those steps are black.
Yeah.
How long have the steel steps been silver? Feels like forever now, right? But they were black for so long.
It was during the Attitude Era. They were black.
I think it was when SmackDown went to its own show, like with its own roster.
Yeah.
It was silvery. I think that's when they made the change.
Because they had that silver aesthetic.
Kane's got the steel steps now. About to hit Triple H. Big feet. High feet. And Triple H now in the corner. Gets hit by Kane. And drop toe hold onto Kane onto the steps.
I'm just wondering if you're a few seconds behind.
Maybe I'm currently at right, I'm bang on now with the clock on the screen. I'm at 1 hour, 20 minutes and 44, 45, 46 seconds. You might be a bit in front, Matt Burns.
A little bit, but here we go.
As Kane, big back body drop on Triple H.
There we go.
On the outside off the steel steps.
Take a bump.
Take a bump.
Three feet.
Did you answer the question anyway? So what was the match on this WrestleMania that you would change?
I would have changed the Brawl.
The what?
I would have changed the Brawl for All.
What would you have done instead?
Anything but what they did. I would have potentially even said to them, shall we actually have a discussion with Butterbean if he wants to get involved? Shall we?
Oh, yeah, totally should have been worked, because not only was it, and I get that Bartgun wanted to do it, but, China just hit Kane, turned on Kane.
Did she?
And Kane doesn't know what to do now. Does he hit her? Does he not? China hit Kane with the chair. Now Triple H has got that chair behind Kane, and he's going to wail on him.
Ooh.
Big chair shot to Kane, right in the mask.
Would that hurt more?
Setting him up for the pedigree. Pedigree on the chair to Kane.
Would that hurt more? Getting hit in the face with that chair, with the mask on?
I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know. And China and Triple H are back together. And as far as we know right now, Matt Burns, China is back in DX and has left the corporation.
For now.
Love China at this point, and Triple H. The whole thing, this whole mini story going through WrestleMania. Well, this is a proper story, really. This whole story for Triple H, Kane, China, the corporation, DX, really good. The outcome of this is excellent.
Yeah.
Because from this, if you remember, eventually we start to get Kane, X-Pac as a tag team.
Yes.
Which is like peak 1999.
Do you know what I find so scary right now? Do you know how many matches we've got left?
We've got Shane McMahon and X-Pac. We've got the Hell in a Cell. We've got the main event.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Nope. One more match. The WWF Women's Championship.
Oh, yeah, the Women's Championship. Sable and Tori. Tori portraying the super fan. That's right. Got Kevin Kelly again here, backstage again. Come on, have a think about it. What would you have done instead of the Brawl for All?
I would have actually given Bart potentially a championship match or something for winning. I would have literally given him anything as a reward for winning that tournament.
Vince McMahon says he's got the best looking referee shirt in his bag for the main event. So Big Show versus Mankind earlier in the night was for who got to referee the main event. Mick Foley wanted one thing, Mankind wanted one thing only, and that was to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Big Show took Mankind out in that match, getting himself disqualified. He then hit Vince McMahon and left the corporation. So now we've got Mankind been stretched away and taken to a local medical facility, as they used to call it, or hospital if you don't speak Vince McMahon. And the Big Show, Paul White, has gone to jail because about 47,000 police officers made him get into that car. So we've got, Sable.
Hang on. I've got a Vince McMahonism for the jail.
Go on.
Because you said local medical facility.
That's what he used to call it, yeah.
It would be the local holding facility.
Okay. So we've got no Big Show, no Mankind. So we've got no referee for the main event. So now Vince McMahon says he's going to be the referee for the main event as Sable walks to the ring. And 10-year-old me was totally in love, Matt Burns. I mean, I'm not going to lie, 35-year-old me is fairly in love. All the women who want to be me and all the men who come to see me. Do you remember what a finisher was called?
The Sable Bomb.
The Sable Bomb. She's going to drop the bomb on you. Women's champion. And she got no wrestling experience either, Sable. None at all. And yet she's still here, giving it a go, doing what's asked of her. And here comes Tori, not Tori Wilson, but Terry. Oh, what's her real name? Hold on. I'm going to quickly Google this. Terry Park, who wrestled in a few other promotions, including in Japan, before she landed in the WWF.
Yeah.
Terry Power, that's who she was. Terry Power.
Terry Power.
Eventually landed in WWF as Tori, and she's playing sort of an obsessed fan here. And we saw this later with Mickie James and Trish, if you remember. They sort of retold this story for a later WrestleMania. But at this point, Tori, a fan of Sable. Sable took advantage, hit her, and then we had Tori come and challenge Sable now for this match at WrestleMania. And do you know what? Considering the talent that's on the roster at this time on the women's side, I mean, I get that the women's matches weren't anything like they are today, but in fairness to them, we have Jacqueline, Ivory, and we've got Terry Powers on the roster, and yet Sable is the champion. And I just think, I get that she was probably the most talked about women's star in the business at this point, and she was definitely, wasn't she like the most downloaded image on AOL?
Yeah,
at this time, like something like
that. I believe she was part of Playboy.
Yeah, she did Playboy either just before or just after this. But yeah, I just think we missed a trick here. We had some real good talent.
I've just remembered how this match finishes.
And talent is not a word I would use for the finish of this match, but we'll get there. The good thing is, Matt Baines, that it doesn't get long, so it's over quickly.
It's cringe. Great aerial maneuver. Vince McMahonism.
Oh, what a maneuver. Does Tori have an outfit on, or is that just paint? It does remind me of Giant Gonzalez.
That's made me laugh then. She does like the pose, and all of a sudden Tori just gets just boom, straight onto her. It's like, you want to disrespect me?
It's funny, though, because that outfit would be perfect for one of the ladies on one of the Saudi Arabia shows in this day and age.
Quite fitting. There you go. There you go. Ever since she's been on Playboy.
Yeah, so it must have been just before this.
Yeah. Right.
Tori with a roll up. Boom. Got to.
Not the cleanest of roll ups.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's the time, right? So these guys aren't as. And don't get me wrong, Terry Powers had a decent run. That was close.
Fair play to Tori for attempting that.
She's dragging Sable through this match, right?
Yeah, you can tell.
Again, if you're watching along with us, we're currently watching WrestleMania 15, my favorite WrestleMania. I've got my championship ready, and we're watching along live on Netflix. We're 1 hour, 30 minutes, 29, 30, 31 seconds into the show as Tori takes down Jimmy Corderas, and I'm sure he was very happy about it. And now Sable putting Tori in for the Sable bomb.
Nope.
Reversed. Shot to the midsection. Tori
puts her Tori bomb
for her own power bomb. A Tori bomb. And who's this getting in the ring? Who the hell is this?
Nicole Bass.
Nicole Bass.
Did I not see her on Howard Stern?
Tori. Boom. Down goes Tori. Look at the size of Nicole Bass.
All I'm just going to say to you is look up Nicole Bass's Wikipedia page.
Nicole, okay, well, let's do it. You know what? Let's do it. Thought experiment. If you're at home too, you quickly Google Nicole Bass and get
I
her
guarantee you,
Wikipedia
if
page
you
up.
don't get a reaction to her spouse's name and possibly what it sounds like.
Yeah, not even saying that out loud, but I'm sure he did. And Sable gets the win there after interference from Nicole Bass, whilst the referee Jimmy Corderas was down.
Well,
and
Sable
still your WWF Women's Champion as she gives her the grind.
To be honest, I was going to say that it just leads into the end of this match. It feels like that's what happened.
Yeah, it was a few minutes wasted watching that, wasn't it? But there you go. Nicole Bass, though, interestingly enough, trained at ECW's House of Hardcore.
Yeah. She made numerous appearances on the Howard Stern show. She was part of the pay-per-view television events, the Miss Howard Stern New Year's Eve pageant.
And here's DX now backstage. China's come home to TX.
Kane, get ready for some pain.
Funniest Nicole Bass moment.
My mind's a blank right now.
Didn't she have a romantic angle with Val Venus?
What?
That's worth a deep dive. Let's get that on one day.
I believe that's what actually happened directly after this.
Yeah, so I think she does she's the heater for Sable for a little while.
Yeah.
And then, I think she goes straight into that Val Venus.
And then comes into a feud with Deborah.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Here comes the European champion, Shane McMahon, who defeated X-Pac in a tag team match for the gold a few weeks previously. I love Shane McMahon's tops in this age. So he's got a DX top on, but he's labeled over an X-Chump. And here comes X-Pac. And I always appreciated this about D-Generation X. So the corporation, for example, the majority of them come out to the corporation music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not all of them, but the majority of them. DX, they've all got their own themes. When they come out together, they come into DX music. And X-Pac's music was like really close to DX's music.
Yeah.
As Patterson and Briscoe attack X-Pac at the top of the ramp, and X-Pac puts them down. Who does he get the spin kick on? I think that's Patterson. Brilliant. And now he's on the way down for Shane McMahon. Even Tess getting out of there. And we've got the pyro in the ring, X-Pac, so make sure you use it. They chuck the pyro out of the ring. They're not doing that now.
Did I hear that right then? X-Pac is a product of the street.
Yeah. I don't know where. But compared to Shane McMahon, who was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and that's where we are. European title, X-Pac of D-Generation X.
No.
Dirty,
I'm not arguing.
Shane McMahon of the corporation.
I'm not arguing it. I'm just there saying that just makes X-Pac so much more grittier.
Yeah. And for the European title, Shane McMahon shouldn't even be the European champion here, but he's,
Boom!
Between him, Test, and the big spin kick there by X-Pac. Between him, Test, the corporation, the Mean Street Posse, obviously keeping him in this championship spot as X-Pac. You know, he really dragged Shane through this match as well, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Test there, pulling X-Pac out before he gets Bronco busted by X-Pac.
There we go. Ooh. We haven't developed
the hell out of there, but now X-Pac's bringing him back.
We haven't developed the X-Pac Heat moniker.
Yeah. Here's what's funny. Nicole Bass actually was in the American soap opera Days of Our Lives.
Ooh.
She had a romantic relationship with Dr. Draco Ramore. Not true. I made that up. It's just funny.
And fell down an elevator shaft.
And then came back with a different brain. But hey, that's wrestling. RASSLIN, that's wrestling.
Interesting. The weird thing about it is what Test does to X-Pac on this. Looks like that almost caused an injury there. But there's one injury of X-Pac's I would, from his wrestling career, I would not ever want anyone to ever experience.
Well, I don't want anybody to get injured, Matt Baines. Why do you want some people to get injured?
No. I'm just saying that there's an inadvertent accident that happened. It's an indie event that happened to X-Pac.
Talk us through.
And brace yourself. You won't be sitting down after you hear this.
Yeah, lay some Matt facts on me. Come on.
Because X-Pac was synonymous with using the Bronco Buster.
Correct.
Right? He went for use it on one event, and as he did it, unfortunately, a bit of the turnbuckle was a little bit on show. To put it bluntly, he ripped his anus. Or his anus.
Yeah, fair dues. Right, Matt Baines, we're going to try something now as we get to Shane McMahon versus X-Pac. But as we get to these big matches at the end of the night, I'm about to press the button on my new desk. And we're going into stand-up mode. Are you ready?
Wait for it.
Stand-up mode.
I'm waiting. I'm looking forward to this. Arise! Arise! Hang on. It is actual facts. Glorious! Oh.
We like this. It's good. It just means now the second half of this, as we go into the main events of this show, I can watch and feel a little bit more, Standy Deathman's good for you.
Oh, look.
Oh, the Mean Street Posse all over X-Pac now. I said it at the start of the show, Matt Baines, but you can see that we've got all this the signs in the crowd. The other things you can see that are really like a key to the era is all the photographers round the ring for the magazines, etc., for the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So you'd always get them round the ring. As Shane McMahon gets tossed over the top rope by X-Pac.
He'd be in deep trouble if it's the Royal Rumble.
He'd be out.
But
Shane back on top in the ring, going up to the second rope as X-Pac lies in the center of the ring. And here he comes. Big elbow drop from Shane O'Mac. Bret Hart style.
Oh, that's a bump you don't want me taking.
Return family jewels.
I know someone who's taken that and ended up bruising him.
X-Pac now going for this superplex.
Clean.
On Shane. Boom. Cover him, X-Pac. Come on. No, he's just giving him the taunt and then covers him.
It's clean, that is.
Pulling X-Pac out of the ring.
I thought that
and into the
suplex was
cameraman
clean.
and into the steps.
Oh,
And that was close, you know. X-Pac just getting out of the way for Test to hit the steel steps.
timing.
X-Pac back into the ring. Hey,
Timing on that one.
was close, but they made it. And now X-Pac's got the belt.
He's whipping him like a scolded dog.
And now he's whipping him like a government mule. Whipping him in the chest. Oof. I dread to think what his chest looked like after that. And we get those 3 kicks in the corner because it's time, Matt Burns, for what?
It's time
for
for the
Bronco Buster, baby.
Bronco Buster. Here we go. And
That's in
lights
the
out.
corner with the European title. Boom. Down goes X-Pac.
Referee to turns around. Oh, what's going on? You're having a lie down. You're
He fell
resting.
down.
Did you fall
Again, if you're
down?
watching along live with us at home or on the podcast, we're currently at WrestleMania 15. We are watching along. We're currently at 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 58, 59, 43 minutes. As we just see X-Pac kick out of Shane McMahon's cover after Test hitting with the European title. It's European title time. It's Shane versus X-Pac. And are any titles not on the line here, Matt Burns? I don't think they are they? We've had European title, Intercontinental, we've got World title, we've had tag and women's, every single championship in the WWF on the line here.
Yeah, it is. But it's not like a Clash of Champions.
WrestleMania, mate, it's bigger than Clash of Champions.
But hang on. Here we go.
And now Shane going in for the Bronco Buster on X-Pac, moves out of the way. And oh, Shane hits his nuts again. 3rd time in the match.
And the family jewels.
And Test coming back in again. He's had enough. And X-Pac ducking Test and hitting him with a big spin kick. Down goes
Good
Test.
cover.
Powders to the outside. And here comes D-Generation X as X-Pac hits the Bronco Buster on Test. Sides are even. Here's Triple H. Here's China. Triple H pulling Test out of the ring. X-Pac with the X Factor on Shane. And then China distracts the ref as Triple H slides into the ring. X-Pac saying, what's going on? Why are you distracting him? And Triple H, boom, hits X-Pac with a pedigree to turn on D-Generation X. Not only turn on D-Generation X, but lies Shane McMahon over X-Pac because Triple H, as China hasn't joined back with DX, Triple H has joined the corporation. And the corporate team have traded Kane for Triple H. Unreal.
Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought that this actually happened sooner. Did I not? If you remember? I thought that this turn happened sooner. But it isn't. It was actually at WrestleMania.
It's the WrestleMania turn. And now
the weird thing about it is...
cheap shots on X-Pac.
Do you know what clue should have given it away? Triple H's gear.
Yeah. He doesn't start where... He carries on with that gear for a while, though. He doesn't go straight to trunks yet.
No. It's the fact that the colour system.
The what?
The colours. I think Billy Gunn was a bit eager there.
Yeah. Triple H was laying it in on X-Pac with Test, and now the New Age Outlaws come to save X-Pac, if you like, but Triple H and Test just absolutely doing him over.
And just think, Test and Triple H together, they wouldn't be later.
Fake news. Well, it's not, but yeah.
But if you know the
story, you know the story.
If you know, you know.
But at this point, not a big deal at all.
No.
Lights have gone out. For a bit of revenge from earlier in the night, here comes the big red machine.
Do you know what I find so weird that people have like a moment where they sit there saying, I could have sworn I saw Kane in green. Nope, he's always been the big red machine.
And everybody's powdering out as Kane comes to exact revenge on Triple H in China, and is running them all off on his own. So they were quite happy to take out one of the best tag teams in history, but they were not willing to stick around and fight Kane. And that says everything you need to know about where Kane was in the pecking order at this time. As the New Age Outlaws now checking on X-Pac, and they're showing the replay. What a cracking event, Matt Burns. And we've still got the 2 main events to go.
Exactly. And some moments.
And this is the first time now that either Triple H or Shawn Michaels are not in DX as the founders.
Exactly.
Now, it doesn't last long because we know by the end of the year, we've got the McMahon-Helmsley era and DX are fully back together. However, for now, as we go through these corporation days, that's where we are.
Corporation days. I wonder if you get some holiday packages.
Maybe. Not a good night for DX, though. Triple H got the win, fair dues. Road Dogg got the win, fair dues. But Billy Gunn and X-Pac.
And losing the leader.
And now it's time for Hell in a Cell. Undertaker, boss man. Here we go. Looking forward to this.
Even though the graphic looks like a solid steel cage.
Yeah, well. I own the key to your heart and your soul, Mr. McMahon. The Ministry's a great angle, you know. It didn't hit peak that it should have done, but it's a cracking angle.
The problem I have with this whole situation right now is Vince is meant to be a good guy, but yet we've got the whole fact of Vince trying to screw Austin.
Matt Bins, tell you what you should do. You should tell everyone about the reboot that I did on this while I just nip off for a couple of seconds.
Definitely. And I will say, the reboot of this was absolutely phenomenal and is one I would highly recommend. So either go back to our previous episodes of The Burning Truth to check it out when Scott did it, or if you want an alternative and you don't want to hear it, you can actually jump onto the website and go to our blog section where Scott has provided all the material in text format, so you can check it all out. You can either have a great listen or a good read. Either way, you will thoroughly enjoy it. As I will say, it was an absolute stellar rebooking and one that I would recommend all of you to check out because it was banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. And yes, as we said, we do our rating systems in bangers. But right now, we've now got the Undertaker feuding with the corporation to a degree, and this is where you got like a bit of a blurred lines of who's the villain, who's the hero, what's going on. Because if you think about it, this is a rare match where we've technically got villain versus villain or heel versus heel. And the odd question is how many matches like this at WrestleMania did we have that were heel versus heel? How many? But anyway, as we deep dive into this, we've now got the big boss man in his SWAT gear entering for the match for the Hell in a Cell. Here we go. We're watching it. Big boss man is here.
Sorry,
there
guys.
We go.
I'm back. I don't know what happened then. We got all mixed around, didn't we?
You almost decanted us.
Yeah. No, we don't want that. We're Scott and Matt, not Matt and Scott.
Yeah.
I always come first. That's my ex-wife.
That's what she said.
Hey.
Anyway, just been
Big
covering.
boss man.
Yep. I've just been discussing how many WrestleMania matches where did we actually have a heel versus heel?
Not many. Hogan versus Yokozuna at WrestleMania 9.
No, that's the crowd saying it's heel versus heel, not as it was meant to be advertised.
Brock versus Goldberg, WrestleMania 20.
Again, that's fan speculation saying that it was heel versus heel, but it's not.
Here comes the Undertaker. Ministry music.
No gong. So for me, was the emphasis presence not there? You know, oh, there it is. You know, would this have had a different effect on the wrestlers in the ring hearing this compared to the classic gong entrance?
Sorry, just swallowing my pepperoni. It's a bit of an animal. Hey, Pepperoni, if you want us to sponsor you, if you want to sponsor us, we are well up for that. We love pepperoni. Bit of free advertisement there. Do I think they were more scared this or the classic? Do you know what's interesting? The entrance, the full bit, obviously supposed to be scary and was a moment in the 90s, but I think that it really became iconic and not just iconic, but it really became like goosebump worthy after the return of the Dead Man in 2004.
Yeah.
So I think the when it really got like serious was 2004 onwards for the entrance. I don't think this music versus what was previous would have made a lot of difference. It was still epic and it was still the same slow, methodical Undertaker. If anything, I think this is scarier. Because I think this is where the Undertaker's gone. Literally, he's gone devil, right? He looks like Lucifer.
Hang on. He has gone to the dark side.
Definitely, yeah, absolutely. He's not just the dead man now. He's portraying a sort of cult, devil-like villain.
Who do you cheer for right now?
The boss man. Because at least in this story, although Vince is Mr. McMahon is obviously the villain and he wants to stop Stone Cold from becoming WWF champion, he's still, trying to protect his family and his daughter. So you've got to go boss man. It's interesting that they chose Hell in a Cell for this. And I almost think they just wanted to use it.
We've got this Hell in a Cell cage. We need to be at least using it once a year. Where do we think?
Yeah, genuinely. And they do use it again in 1999, don't we?
King of the Ring, was it?
No, got some dogs in there. We don't got a steel cage in there as well.
We don't talk about that, remember?
Why not?
It's buried alive.
Sorry, I can't help myself doing that tonight. I'm sorry. About 3 times. Anytime we mention Buried Alive, if you're not familiar, normally on the podcast we do a segment called Buried Alive, where we take something from the wrestling world that we think's crap and we bury it for all time. And that is the music, the intro to the video for the segment. And every time we've mentioned Buried Alive tonight, I've done it again. Oh dear, very funny. I'm popping myself now, Matt Burns.
Oh, it's not just yourself you're popping. That's hilarious.
Right, let's talk Big Boss Man Undertaker. Let's talk Undertaker at WrestleMania, right? Where does this one rank in his 23-1 matches or whatever it was?
It's not the worst. It is far from the worst, because the worst was Jack Gonzalez in my eyes.
Yeah.
But it's not massively high, because I feel as though it's tough to say, because Taker's had some really good epic WrestleMania matches, but he's had a few bad ones as well.
So you don't think this was the weakest match of the streak?
No, it's not.
Why do you think they chose Boss Man?
Experience, the fact that he's a veteran of the wrestling business.
I've always got to think about alternatives as well. Who else in the corporate team was going to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania? They could have done Kane again. They could have done Ken Shamrock, who's in that Intercontinental title feud for Ryan Shamrock, so he's almost off the board. Big Show Paul White, he's well into that Mankind, Stone Cold, Vince McMahon, Rock rivalry.
Yeah.
I'd have maybe done something different and maybe done Big Show versus Undertaker here, you know. So, and I know this isn't part of my reboot, but I'm just rethinking the entire angle now. I'm rebooking my reboot.
No, don't.
I'm just thinking another way to go. Or what if you don't bring Paul White in to stop Austin from getting to WrestleMania, and you use somebody else for that job? Maybe the Big Boss Man, switch him over. So the Big Boss Man tries to help Vince McMahon in the cage match, and it goes wrong, and Austin still wins that match, and he still goes to WrestleMania. Boss Man then fights Mick Foley for who gets to go to WrestleMania main event. Boss Man versus Mankind earlier in the match was fine. Boss Man could have chained him up, handcuffed him up, and beat crap through him, similar to what The Rock did earlier in the year, and that's what led to him going on the stretcher and off. And then you get Undertaker versus Paul White in Hell in a Cell.
Okay.
The only problem is then you're putting the Undertaker over Boss Man really early in the Big Show's sort of career. But then again, I mean, they didn't make him look the strongest anyway, did they? So, and you wouldn't have been able to hang the Big Show. So you would have had to have done something different post-match. It's a symbol. And Undertaker's already bleeding in this one. Hell in a Cell changes careers. Oh, big shot with that nightstick from Boss Man, wearing his shield gear. Sierra Hotel, Echo, India, Lima, Delta, Boss Man. Did you know that Ray Traylor is Seth Rollins' dad?
Nice try.
That's why he was in the Shield and wore tactical gear. Let's start a rumor. Let's do it. I'm just kidding. That's total rubbish. Don't believe that. The Boss Man is not Seth Rollins' dad.
And besides, he couldn't be involved with the Shield anyway.
Why?
Because he always had issues with dogs, and he couldn't turn around the big dog.
Ah, true that. Undertaker now with a chair, stalking the Boss Man around the ring. The third Hell in a Cell match ever, this, Matt Burns, and the first one where they don't go to the outside. This is the first Hell in a Cell match where nobody jumps off the thing. Do you think this one hurts the mystique of Hell in a Cell? Because this is the first one that isn't like a star, right?
It's hard to say, because they're not always going to be, sort of iconic in that sort of sense, if you get what I mean. But it was always going to be a tough act to follow with the previous two Hell in a Cells.
Yeah, absolutely. And Boss Man, very different worker to Shawn Michaels or Mankind. You know, it was always going to be a different match. Do you think then this was more about continuing the story rather than having a banger match at WrestleMania?
More story and just having a use for it.
And that's the problem, right? So WrestleMania shouldn't be about continuing stories. It should be about ending stories, in my opinion.
Yeah. It should be, but it is what
Not
it
in
is.
this case, certainly.
It is what it is.
Now Boss Man's bleeding as well, so we now got Undertaker and Boss Man both bleeding. Here we go, Undertaker off the ropes. Big clothesline. Love that flying lariat. Undertaker for the cover, 2 count, and the Boss Man kicks out. Shoulder up for the Boss Man. Hey?
Have you jumped ahead?
I don't think so. I think I'm just check where I am.
What's currently happening?
I've just caught up. 2 hours, 2 minutes. 39, 40 seconds. And now we've just had the Undertaker go for old school and end up now down at the ringside area. The Boss Man cut that off. Was having none of that rubbish. And now the Undertaker back in the ring with the Boss Man. Boom. Big right hand by the big Boss Man.
There we go. And there's a second. Right.
Undertaker with a big right hand of his own, and that's the last thing you want to do. No matter who you are, you do not want to start trading rights with the Undertaker.
Unfortunately, I am going to have to just pop off for a second. So would
Fine, mate, I've got you.
Please kindly just discuss.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll tell him, Matt Burns. I'll tell him all about the new merch on the merch store at theburningtruthuk.com as the Undertaker and Big Boss Man trade rights and lefts and headbutts. At theburningtruthuk.com, the new merch store. We've got some great new designs on there. We've got a t-shirt of DFTBA, Matt Burns' favorite saying. Don't forget to be awesome. We've got my favorite, which is the Excelsior t-shirt with the 2 thumbs, because who's got 2 thumbs and says Excelsior? This guy. And we've also got, I said my favorite t-shirt. This is actually my favorite t-shirt. We've got a brand new one on the store right now that says it's for one of our favorite, as Undertaker hits the tombstone there on Big Boss Man. 1, 2, 3. Undertaker gets the win over Boss Man in Hell in a Cell. My new favorite t-shirt, which is a, how do I say this? It's a love for Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown, currently on WWE TV, the WWE Women's Champion. And our t-shirt is a black t-shirt with pink lettering. It says, it's Stiffy time, because do you know what? When Tiffy's on TV, we're all getting tight downstairs and we love it. So thank you very much, Tiffany Stratton. And now, as The Undertaker wins this Hell in a Cell match, he looks up at the structure and he almost summons from above, and here they come. Down come the Brood, rappelling from the ceiling, from the rafters, down to the Hell in a Cell. Edge, Christian, Gangrel of the Brood. And they're there for one reason. They're there for one reason, to help The Undertaker do whatever he's got in mind here. And this is that famous part of the angle. And I've got to be honest, I do think this is worse than the Kennel of Hell, but Matt Burns had a real issue with this one. As the Brood are ripping into the top of the cell. It's definitely worse than the Kennel from Hell match that we varied. But I suppose the question I always come back to is, was the Big Boss Man the right person? And I think it was, yeah, but they always booked themselves into a corner here. They rushed this story, if I'm totally honest. It felt continuously like they'd rushed the story. And now the Brood drop the noose into the cell. The Undertaker now holding the noose. And Michael Cole's really specific here with his words, because they don't want to get in trouble. They're obviously having loads of issues at this time in 1999, the WWF, with like the Parent Teachers Association, and Undertaker now putting it around Bossman's neck. And they had to be really careful what they were doing, but also they were trying to push the boundaries continuously. So although they do this and they obviously hang the big Bossman in Hell in a Cell here, Michael Cole's really, really clear with what he says. And he just keeps saying, it's a symbol. It's a symbol. And I'm going to give you some behind the scenes on this because I think it's really interesting in how they do it. So Bossman's actually wearing a collar. And the collar also gives sort of a strap round to under his waist. He's wearing a waist and a collar. And that noose has a clip in it that clips onto that collar and it lifts him actually by his waist because of that strap that goes down his back. So it's really technical sort of apparatus. But it does mean that Bossman doesn't technically get hung in the ring because of what he's wearing. He's saved here and he's hooked up. And it's why it takes quite a while for him to lift him. But he's actually getting hung by the piece of equipment around his waist. And there he goes. He's now playing dead for the Undertaker, and he's been hung by the Ministry of Darkness. It's a symbol, they say. Oh my God, says Michael Cole, and he's right to. Is it symbolic? Of course it's symbolic. I think this is the sort of thing that you talk about and you say, that's a really cool idea. And you don't stop to think, oh, actually, is it the right thing or not? I mean, I love it, but I was 10 and thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen, which I know makes me a bit strange. But now we're getting a video of the WrestleMania Rage Party, which was like fan access in 1999, which is more like a college party, to be fair. Shane McMahon. Big Punisher, which must have been a rap artist at some point. The Rock's there with his championship. Let me get mine. If you're somebody, love it. And again, if you're watching along with us at home or on the podcast, we're now at 2 hours, 8 minutes, 9 minutes dead. So 2 hours, 9 minutes, and now 2, 3, and 4 seconds if you're watching along live with us. WrestleMania 15, and it's main event time, guys. This video is just setting up for the Hell in a Cell to go back up, to get the Bossman unhooked, and then we're going to get it. We're going to get Rock, we're going to get Austin, WrestleMania 15, and it doesn't get any better than this. This is legit my favorite ever wrestling event. I've been trying to talk Matt Baines into watching it with us for ages. I kind of tricked him, if I'm honest, because I said, why don't we watch St. Valentine's Day Massacre from 99 earlier last month? And he was like, yeah, that's a really good idea, knowing that then we could follow it up with WrestleMania 15. And here we are. And Vince and Undertaker having a bit of a war of words there. And Undertaker again, he sets his symbol on fire there at the Rage Party. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, they should have played this video before the Hell in a Cell match. There's Austin giving it the big, I'm going to be the champion because Stone Cold said so. And here we go. So Michael Cole in the ring now, and he's introducing Jim Ross back to us. Good old JR coming back to the commentary desk to call the biggest match of the year, and rightly so. Good old JR back at the commentary table, the voice of professional wrestling. Michael Cole obviously being groomed to replace JR at this time, going backstage, and it worked, right? Michael Cole, you know, what a guy. But JR now back at the commentary desk, exactly where he should be for this main event match.
Where he belongs. Yeah, I agree with that sign.
JR is WrestleMania. I mean, he was for a long time. Vince was desperate for Michael Cole to become the voice of WWE, and eventually he was. It just took a very long time to get there. And here we go. The Fink introducing the main event.
So I take it you've been through all the explanation of the the new merch.
Oh yeah, we talked a bit about the merch. We also talked about how the Boss Man stunt was done because I had some insider info on that. And then we've had a VT for the WrestleMania Rage Party, which was a bit like fan access, but it was a massive like college party the night before WrestleMania back in the day. So that's what they did for 15. And here comes Vince McMahon, who thinks he's going to referee the WrestleMania main event.
And not wearing the famous.
That's the best damn looking referee shirt. That's what he said. He said, I happen to have the best damn looking referee shirt. So that's what Vince thinks that is.
We do not, at least it's nowhere near as the other referee shirt that we saw.
Think about it now. How many times has Vince McMahon been on this show? So this is a pay-per-view, and he's been in 3 angles. 4 angles, maybe, if you count this one. And he'll be out again before the end of the night.
Yeah.
He's pulling him up. There he goes.
Yeah.
He's got Mike Chioda with him. Sexy boy. Very different to what we watched last week. So last week, for those who weren't with us, you can go back in the archive for last week's show. We watched WrestleMania 8. And WrestleMania 8, we saw Shawn Michaels versus, do you remember?
Shawn Michaels versus Tito Santana.
And in that, we had Shawn Michaels come to the ring with Sherry, and it was his previous version of the music that Sherry had sung. But by the time we get to 99, Shawn sung his own song, and he's very happy with it. And he's got his AJ Styles style haircut here.
The Sunday Mom look.
Soccer Mom look, yeah, he's got it.
His Soccer Mom Sunday Mom look.
His Sunday League look, absolutely. You had any snacks tonight, Matt Burns?
What? No. Just drink. You know, I didn't fancy breaking up the audio.
No. And now we've got HBK. You can't have a WrestleMania without the Heartbreak Kid.
Mr. WrestleMania.
And the point of this is Michaels doesn't want Vince to be the ref. The CEO and chairman of the WWF can't decide who the referee for WrestleMania is. That specific task in the WWF rulebook sits with the commissioner, which just happens to be Shawn Michaels. So we've got Shawn Michaels now saying that Vince can't be the ref and that the corporation will be barred from ringside. However, Mike Chioda is going to be the ref who's there now. So happy days. We've got a referee. Vince can bugger off, and the corporation can't come down and spoil the fun for The Rock.
Spoil the fun for The Rock?
Yeah, because The Rock wanted the corporation to help.
Ah. No, I thought you meant to spoil the fun of Austin, of what he's going to be doing to The Rock.
Liking this standing up for the pay-per-view, it makes me very excited.
For a minute, then, I thought you put your hands behind your back. I thought you were going to go.
I can chop just as often, trust me.
But then again, you know, there is always the opposite side. Someone who can take a chop.
Absolutely.
But what I thought was a nice touch here, where Shawn just said, you know, to even get into the building, even he had to buy a ticket. It is that exclusive. Whistler 2000.
That's a line I use daily for my mum because she's deaf as a post and she refuses to have any sort of checkup or anything on her ears. She has, honestly, mate, she has the tally on 70, right? She is deaf as a post. So I always say to turn your Whistler 5000 up. And I've kept that with me since I was 10 years old watching this WrestleMania.
The Whistler. I'm sorry, but I love that. I absolutely love that.
Corporation is barred from ringside. But he might let Vince come down.
Yeah.
Good save, that.
You just let me go.
Michaels just threatening Vince. The corporation come down, I'm going to beat you up. Is basically what he says.
You better get stepping.
And hit the bricks, McMahon.
And hit the bricks. I love it.
And sits on the ropes. Get out.
Oh, go. Bit cheeky.
I think you're a touch ahead of me, Matt Burns. About 1 second.
Not anymore.
And now Michaels and Vince. Vince trying to explain to Michaels what he wants to do, and Michaels having none of it. No.
But I'm in charge. I'm the boss.
I feel like I should be wearing the championship belt for this, but I'm not going to. I'm not that guy.
Oh, I may have a good idea that I may have to pass by you. But after this, because it just popped into my head just a second, because we almost inadvertently just did it. The chosen one.
The Rock says. Right, Matt Burns, going to leave you with a question, and I'll be back in a couple of seconds. But the question I want you to answer while I'm gone is, how does this match up? How does this match hold up compared to WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 19 Austin Rock matches? Where does this one rank and why? Ready?
This is the start. This is the very first of the feud, the very first of the 3 WrestleManias of The Rock versus Steve Austin. And for me, it should be high. Personally, it should be, because it's the first encounter. But I think the order that they got them in, the way that they did it, is absolutely legendary. But out of the 3, and as much as people are sitting there thinking, well, how can you sit there and say this is in 3rd place out of the 3 of them? And, that made this the worst. It's like, no, it's not the worst. It's not bad. It might be 3rd, but it's by no means bad. It is the start of something epic. Now, as for it, what's in 2nd place, I think it was their 3rd encounter. It should go in 2nd place, because the 2nd encounter, that was just absolutely legendary. And we know why it's absolutely legendary. But by no means, even if this is in 3rd, this is in no indication bad at all. In fact, it is absolutely epic. This was, because I absolutely thought this was a great main event. Absolutely, the best of the Attitude Era clashing at WrestleMania. And it goes to show the quality of both of them in this match right now, because it's just absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. But what I find interesting is the fact that out of all three matches, two of them have been championship matches. And if my facts are right, my matter facts are correct, the two times that the championship was on the line, The Rock was heading in as the champion, if I am not mistaken. But I'll get that matter fact checked out with Scott, and just make sure it's all correct and make sure it's all above board, and that I haven't got it all, got it wrong, and I need to have Scott to educate me with a Scott statistic.
Yeah, you bang on, mate. He was champion both times, but let me tell you why you're talking absolute crap, right? This is the best one of the three.
You think?
Absolutely. Let me tell you for why.
Oof.
Let me just check my timing is right compared to yours, just because I've been out of the room for a second.
Nope. I think you're still on point.
Okay, I'm just a second or two. There we go. I'm up to date now. They're just heading into the crowd.
They're in the crowd.
This is the reason, right? So WrestleMania 17, people generally say is the best one. It's not. The finish is terrible. The turn is terrible, ruins the match. It's definitely the best build-up to a WrestleMania match of all time. Maybe up until last year, Roman Cody. But certainly up to that point, WrestleMania 17, that was the best build-up to a main event ever, right?
Yeah.
The My Way music, the whole thing was fabulous. But the finish and the turn ruined the match. Ruins it. Right. Completely and utterly ruins it. And that's why it's not the best one of the three.
Okay.
WrestleMania 19, there's nothing at stake. The Rock's the heel, Austin's the babyface, which is the second time that happens, because in the middle encounter, they're both babyfaces. And it's as we're getting towards sort of Hollywood Rock. We're certainly well into Hollywood Rock there. And Austin's just come back. He's just defeated Eric Bischoff at No Way Out. And there's very little build up to it. The match is okay. It's not fabulous. Obviously, Austin, a medical issue the night before, which caused them issues, and they couldn't do maybe what they wanted to do in that match. So the third match at WrestleMania 19 was not a good affair. It was nice that The Rock got the win, but it wasn't a good affair. It wasn't a great match. Didn't have great crowd interaction either. So although 17 was fabulous for the build-up and the match up until the last 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes completely takes it away from it. The WrestleMania 19, the match wasn't great. The build-up wasn't fabulous. I think it's just remembered fondly because it's the third one. This match has got a good build-up. It is the first of the big main events, right? And what I mean by that is referee bumps, near falls, stealing each other's finishes. It's also got the best finish out of all three of the matches. And you'll see what I mean for that in a minute and the emotion that brings. But I promise you, over the next 20 minutes now, towards the end of this match. Pardon?
Do me one favor.
Yeah.
Ask me the question again after.
Yeah. I promise you, you're going to change your mind in the next 20 minutes.
The reason why is because now that you just said what you just said, part of me is sitting there thinking to myself, do I need to openly admit? Yeah.
Bump on the light. Austin's knee.
You're a few seconds behind.
Am I?
Yeah. No. It's fine. I've just corrected it.
I was going to say I'm at 25:39 now. Yeah, so I'm bob on.
Yeah. You were literally a few seconds. I mean, a few seconds. So I just corrected it myself for you.
Oh, you were in front as opposed to me being behind. It's your fault.
No, it's yours because I didn't have to adjust.
Yeah, I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to completely change your mind. And the reason I'm so glad that we've got this WrestleMania on is this show has got many faults. It's not perfect by any means, but the main event makes up for all of it.
Yeah. Oh, the stomp.
And do you know what else? Did you see that kick?
Yeah.
That was the receipt for the clothesline. But what I will say is I honestly believe this to be the most attitude era main event of all time. More so than what you got in WCW in the Nitro era. This is the most attitude era main event of all time.
The fact that they're actually affecting the signage.
And this is the match for me, you know, Matt Beans. This is the match that cemented The Rock as a main eventer. So he won the title at Survivor Series, Deadly Game. He then had the rivalry with Mankind.
Yeah.
And then this little rivalry into the main event with Austin for WrestleMania. And this is the match that cements him as a main eventer for me.
The thing is, what I was trying to get over more importantly, though, out of the judgment of it, regardless of it, whichever match was third isn't bad by any means necessary.
No, they're all good matches, absolutely. Yeah. But I promise you that you'll rearrange your order after this if I have anything to do with it.
A part of me is now
already wondering.
I'm already rearranging in my head, and the reason why is because I think because this is the WrestleMania, I haven't seen the most recent.
Maybe.
I think that's what possibly.
If this match was happening today, what do you think would be on the ring apron?
Say no more. It's just already just changed.
If this match happened today in this area, what sponsorship would be on the ring canvas, do you think?
Gatorade.
Coors Light.
Coors Light. Budweiser. Bud Light. Gatorade. Whichever ticket retailer.
And here's an interesting question. How would this have been different? Here's something different. How would this have been different if the ringmaster faced Rocky Maivia at WrestleMania 15 main event?
Wouldn't be as aggressive.
And he's through the table.
Can I just already reveal my reorder?
Yeah, if you want. But I would like to re-ask you at the end of this match.
Do you know when you're watching something and all of a sudden your brain just suddenly unlocks all the memories?
It's cracky, mate, this is. It's the most underrated WrestleMania main event of all time.
As this match has just started going on, my memories have just suddenly flushed into me head, so I know what's coming up, what's going to happen, what's coming up, and my brain it's just sort of just gone reality check. You done goofed.
Well, here comes Austin. Big elbow onto the Rock.
You done goofed. And I'm about to say, I am going to make one solid change.
Do you think? I keep pausing you because I want to stretch it out as long as we can. But do you think anybody took the Stunner any worse than The Rock, but better at the same time? Because it's the worst sell and the best sell at the same time.
Austin Theory's up there.
Austin Theory's good. Shane McMahon's good as well. Rock bottom, and it's over.
Nope.
And I think The Rock kicks that out himself by rolling over too far.
Yeah.
Come on, Rock.
I'm about to say to you. You know, I'm going to wait until the end.
Yeah, I would. Nobody's ever kicked out of the rock bottom before. And here comes the chair. We've seen lots of chairs tonight, but it's the Attitude Era, so anything goes.
Oh, and there goes the referee.
It's a cracking hit on the ref, isn't it?
What's that?
It's a cracking hit on the ref.
Oh, yeah. A solid steel chair to the head. And the slow roll out to the floor.
I feel like you're still in front, Matt Burns.
Back elbow.
When you said back elbow, he was still going for the stunner and getting pushed off.
How far ahead?
Rock now with the chair onto Austin's bad knee. Oh, yeah. Oof. Oof, that was stiff. That was about as stiff as our new t-shirt at the burningtruthuk.com. It's stiffy time, everyone.
I was waiting for that. In the body.
And now Tim White's come out to help Mike Chioda.
We are aligned.
Big chair shot. Big chair shot from The Rock.
We are now officially aligned.
Tim White in the match to count the 3. 1, 2. It's got to be all. And The Rock gets kicked out.
Do you know how aligned we are
again.
Right now?
What?
Do you know how aligned we are?
We'll be hopefully we're bang on, mate. That's the plan.
We're bang on. Because as you literally went 1, 2, he was hitting the mat.
And now there's where Austin hits Mike Chioda with that chair. Takes it well, fair play to him. And The Rock pulling him in front. Ooh. Now The Rock's all over Austin in the ring.
Yeah.
Puts him in that rest hold. Here we go. Chinlock time.
Part of the Chinlock Society. Right in some wills. Do you think The Rock right now could have ever thought he would be in the position that he is in right now at this stage?
The biggest movie star in the world and co-owner of the WWE.
Involved in, yeah.
No, I don't think he ever thought that. I think he thought he was going to be a big deal. I don't ever think he thought he was going to get to the heights he will. Because how could you actually know that you're going to be that big of a star? He knew he was going to be big, right? He knew he was going to be successful. But the trajectory that The Rock's been on, to be as successful as he is, unbelievable.
Yeah. And I think that's down to his work ethic.
Yeah. And they've done so much work in the first 10 minutes of this match that now they're in this rest hold. You know, again, let's just let it breathe a minute. We've got a lot to do, you know. And I would be knackered as well after going as hard as they did. You got to think they've already been hitting each other with chairs. They've already hit a rock bottom. They've been round the ring post. They've hit the steel stairs. They've gone through an announce table. They've been through the crowd, and we're only in the first 10 minutes.
And it's scary.
Like I say, the most attitude era main event ever. Bit of a smile as he gets up.
No, and a few selective words.
Yeah. I love Austin so much. He was so good. People forget how good Austin was. Samoan drop from The Rock. Is it possible, right, for one of the biggest box office attractions in the history of wrestling to be underrated in 2025? But honestly, I think he is, you know, because we look at John Cena now, and rightly so, as the GOAT, right? We've got Hulk Hogan, who was rock bottom on Tim White. That's the second ref's gone. We've got Hulk Hogan, who's looked at favorably as, you know, the guy who started it all. Austin hits the stunner on The Rock. Tim White's down. No ref.
And I bet you Austin's having to come.
And here comes Earl Hebner for 1, 2, and The Rock kicks out just before 3. And this now we're on third ref for the match. So what I'm saying is, as we watch WrestleMania 15, watch along, currently 2 hours, 35 minutes and 47 seconds through, is that Austin, we look at Hogan, we look at Cena, and we almost forget about this little, we look at The Rock, and we almost forget about Austin. And he's genuinely one of the best wrestlers to have ever done it. And I think at this point in 2025, he's almost looked back at underrated.
Yeah, but the thing is, Austin won't sit down to you. You know, he'll talk about his history. He prefers people to remember. If they want to remember, they can remember. If they don't, they don't.
Do you know what I think it comes from, though? I think these days, the Attitude Era gets looked down upon a little bit. It was revered for so long, but now it's almost looked down upon. And because of it was, trash TV, crash TV for a lot of it. But that doesn't take away from how good Austin was.
Oh, no, far from it.
Vince and Rock stomping down on Austin. Vince just took out Earl Hebner.
And his jacket.
So now we've got 3 refs down. And we've got Vince and Rock putting in the boots.
Oh,
and who is going to come down and save Austin? It's Mankind, back from the medical facility.
Well, if you think about it, technically it's 4 referees down. Just one's returned.
Yeah. Here comes Mick. Boom.
Boom.
Puts Vince down, and Rock's not bothered. He just watched it happen while he was putting the boots to Austin. And now he finally turns to Mick Foley. Austin rolls him up. 1, 2. Fast count now by Mankind, but Austin got the 2 count. Now Austin Rock again. Luther's press from Austin. Classic Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And he's walking it dry.
Oh, yes, and drops that elbow on the Rock. Sends him off the ropes again. And this time, boom, takes a big boot off the Rock and a clothesline to put Austin back down. And we're now into the 3rd act of this match, Matt Burns.
Yeah.
The Rock puts him in the rock bottom. Rock bottom to Austin, center of the ring. And then he gets up because what's next, Matt Burns? It's time for the most electrifying move in sports entertainment. It's the corporate elbow. Oh, we missed it. Austin goes to the stunner, catches the foot. Rock spins him round. Rock bottom. Austin gives him an elbow.
Denied.
He's out to the rock bottom. Turns round. Boom. Stunner. Over. Austin with the 1, 2, and 3. Mick Foley. Boom. And Vince can't believe it. And that is how you finish a match, right? That is absolutely epic. I can't tell you how happy I am watching that. Tell me that finish isn't better than the other 2. I dare you.
It isn't as good as the other. I'm joking. No. Do you want me to break what I said earlier?
Yeah, I do.
It was in 3rd place.
Yeah.
All right. Pull it out. Does it go here? No.
I'm telling you, that is the correct order. And people, WrestleMania 17 is revered, right? But I promise you, the Rock Austin match is better at 15.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean as much because it hasn't had the same build-up. It hasn't got the same characters. You haven't got the history.
You haven't got the history, but it's the first one.
And I don't think they top it. I don't think that the build-up is better at 17, but the finish ruins the match. 19, Austin is visibly struggling.
Yeah.
And I don't like the finish either. I know the Rock's over, he's a heel, but I don't like the finish. But this one is perfect. The build-up's perfect. The match is perfect. It's Attitude Era at its highest. Austin gets the win. The finish is absolutely spot on with Mankind and Vince McMahon. Everything it needed to be. Yeah. For me, this main event gets 5 stars. Gets 5 out of 5 bangers, this main event does.
That it does.
The Rattlesnake proves why he's top of the WWF once again.
Yeah. And
now, how do you finish WrestleMania 15, Matt Burns?
What's a beer bash?
With a couple of beers. Get on the beer bash. Couple of Steve Weisers with the WWF title.
With a beer. And another beer. And another beer. And another beer.
And he's up on the top rope with his beers.
And a Bloody Mary.
His title, spot on. Absolutely spot on.
Steve Weiser. How many people could get away with drinking on the job?
Stone Cold Steve Austin is definitely one of them.
Yeah, but if you notice, he's now into it now because it's the end of the night. His shift is just about to come to an end.
So we're at the end of the show now, and this is just Austin having a beer back. Vince looks really upset. There is another 5 minutes, but while we're just watching this unfold, I suppose I've got maybe 2-3 questions just to close out this episode, Matt Burns, if you're interested. The first one is, we talked about it at the beginning. Where does this WrestleMania rank for you? And you gave an answer. You said, I don't know, 3, 4. And I don't think you were thinking about it really, because this WrestleMania is generally seen as one of the worst. But I want, now we've watched it start to finish, we've done this episode, I want you to tell me where now you think it ranks in terms of...
I still think it's 3 and 4, because as much as you can sit there and say it was one of the worst WrestleManias, I still think what I said earlier was actually still factually and correct.
Because we've got Earl Hebner having a beer and he looks dead happy.
It still had some great moments, and bear in mind, this match alone can carry the actual event.
Yeah, definitely. This could have been the event. Okay. So for me, for you then, again, in your opinion, we know my thoughts on the first question anyway. Where does WrestleMania 15 rank for me? It's maybe 1 or 2. Last year's WrestleMania was phenomenal. So for me, it would be WrestleMania 40, WrestleMania 15 would be 1 and 2 for me. In your opinion, this show, we just watched it start to finish. Who is the MVP of this WrestleMania for you? Who puts on the best show for us?
The MVP?
Yeah. Who's the most valuable player for this WrestleMania?
Right now, there isn't one. There's 2.
Okay.
Rock and Austin.
And you can't have one without the other, right?
Exactly.
Austin and Vince.
That's not about.
Austin's telling him it says belt. And gives him a right hand. Down goes Austin. Chucks him in the ring. Eventually. Austin rolls in with him. And as Vince gets up, it's time for
Here we go.
Stunner.
One of his
better
stunners.
One of the better stunners that Vince takes in his career. And then we're getting some more beers for Austin. The beer bash continues. So who's the MVPs for you at Rock and Austin? Who had a terrible night? Who struggled at this WrestleMania for you? Opposite to the MVP, who was the who had the stinker at WrestleMania 15?
Bart Gunn.
Pardon?
Bart Gunn turned up, got lights out.
It's a bit unfair, but we'll say Bart Gunn.
Tell me where I'm wrong.
Most importantly, Matt Burns, after watching that wild Hell in a Cell match again, how big's Batista's dick?
Average size.
Great callback. Thank you very much for answering that. And WrestleMania 15 finishes. I think it's the first one to do this, but it finishes with the recap video of the entire WrestleMania, which has become standard for the end of WrestleMania over the years.
Yeah.
And as we finish up here, Matt Burns, I suppose you should probably take us home.
Yeah. For me personally, I think this was, as I said earlier, a great event. But with that all being said and done, that's a wrap on our WrestleMania 15 watch along. What a night of pure attitude era mayhem, hardcore chaos, swerve after swerve, and of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin reclaiming the WWF Championship from The Rock in their very first iconic WrestleMania showdown. Absolute carnage from start to finish. Thanks for watching with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for watching with us. If you want more of The Burning Truth live, keep the conversation going. You can find us on all the socials. All you have to do is type in The Burning Truth or TBT Live UK and look for the belt. Look for the belt, you'll find us. And you can also follow us on YouTube. We're trying our best on the YouTube at the moment, and you can get us there, The Burning Truth 251, for full episodes, reactions, and exclusive content.
And don't forget, we're closing in on 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't hit that button yet, now's the time to help us out. Help us hit that milestone and keep growing this amazing wrestling community, which is growing from strength to strength. And we couldn't be doing this without you. Genuinely, we couldn't. But but honestly, for me, until next time, stay fired up, stay passionate, and remember, DFTBA. And in case you don't know what that means, or if you didn't get it from early from any t-shirt designs, it of course means don't forget to be
Excelsior. What else is there to say? What a night.